What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is the Blacklist, Season 3, Episode 9. Now, if you saw my review of the mid-season finale, I was kind of frustrated because these hillbillies came out of nowhere, and somehow Red's plan got messed up by these stupid hillbillies that ran the road. And it felt kind of dumb because one of the problems that the show has had in season 2, I thought, was that Red, his character was not the same character. One of Red's things is that even when things are going wrong, he's always stayed cool under pressure. You know, all of the stuff going on around, it still seems like he has a plan, even if the plan's getting screwed up. In season 2, he got into this point where things were going wrong, and he was losing his cool. It wasn't the same Red that we've come to know and love. And so the mid-season finale, it kind of felt that way too. Like, he gets captured by these hicks out of nowhere, and like one of them came up and held a gun to the back of his head, which is like, if you get within arm's reach, that's the perfect position to disarm a guy, and Red should know this. And it kept going from bad to worse until finally everything finally screwed up and Elizabeth is now arrested. And so the one thing that I said at the end of it was, maybe this was all part of the plan. You know, maybe this was, he knew that these guys were going to be in this place, and he let himself get captured so that he knew Elizabeth would call Samar, and all of this would. But no, like at the beginning of this, like he's making up. The plan is still in place. It's just with Samar now instead of Elizabeth doing stuff. And now the plan is escalated because Elizabeth is in danger. Now she's captured. And so on that note, that still frustrates me that all that happened in the mid-season finale. But continuing on from there, this episode, really good. Very intense. A lot of good character moments. And the story itself is really picked up where it kind of left off in the mid-season finale. So, you know, Elizabeth is now captured. Wrestler puts her into the cage that they had Red in, like in the first season. Kind of missed that cage. Like it felt familiar. I'm like, that was one season. That was first season, and now we hardly see it anymore. Kind of disappointing. And in that respect, it kind of shows how far the show has come. That season 1 was Red's in the cage. They're talking to him. They're solving kind of crimes. They're capturing people with his help. To now, like, he's pretty much on the run from the FBI again. He's still helping them, but he's not being controlled by them. And now Elizabeth's on the run too. It feels like a completely different type of show now, which is interesting. And pretty well done. But she's in the cage. The director shows up, which his name is the one on the title. So I'm wondering if maybe this is the end of the director. Which would be pretty interesting, because I thought maybe they were going to save him for the finale. But maybe this is the end of the director. We'll see. It's going to be good. But he shows up trying to get Elizabeth out. Wrestler says no. Red calls Aram, has him change the codes so that they can't get in, and from there, that's where the story starts. Aram mainly sticks within the FBI, trying to help Elizabeth. At one point, the director actually shuts off the air and starts pumping in nitrogen gas, which sucks out the oxygen, so that Aram has to either give him the codes and let Elizabeth out, or let her die. And so that's a very intense moment, and really, man, I always liked Aram as a character, but in this one, it's so emotional. Like, he is tearing up watching her die in front of him, and he's just tearing up, frustrated. He starts yelling at the camera that he knows they're watching. He's like, "Oh, tell everybody about this!" And it's just so emotional and so intense. I'm like, Aram! I always liked you as a character, but now you're awesome, man. You're great. Really, really well done with him. And I forget the name of the actor that plays him, but he did a great job in this episode. And even has a moment near the end that really got emotional, but I'll get to that later. Meanwhile, with Red, he's now got Samar working for him. Like I said, now she's doing what Elizabeth would have been doing. She has to go get the care package from the FBI because they took it whenever they arrested Elizabeth and Dembe. Um, and so, they set up like this scene where like a drug bust gone bad, gunshots, and so they get the guys that have the care package in there, like I don't know what it's called, like forensic technicians, I guess maybe. But they get them to drive out there so that she can get the care package back. Meanwhile, Red's setting up this meeting with this foreign diplomat, I guess. But the care package is like $100 bill plates to like templates to make $100 bills, so that he can like have money to stop this rebellion in his country. That part was a little bit out there for me. I'm just like, okay, politics stuff, I guess, maybe. I couldn't follow it, but you can kind of get the gist of where it's going. Like he needs money in his country because they don't have it. And here's the money, make more money. And then Wrestler finds out about Karakurt from Red because everything that happened with the director, he's like, okay, I have to trust somebody. Red, I guess. I don't really trust him, but I know I need to keep Elizabeth safe. And so this is kind of a defining moment for him because he's gone back and forth between, yeah, I trust Elizabeth and I believe she's innocent too. We need to bring her in now, and just so back and forth the whole season. I'm just like, pick a side, Wrestler. Do you want to arrest her? Do you not want to? Do you think she's innocent? Do you think she should be serving time? But Red finally tells him about Karakurt and that Tom and Cooper have them up in a cabin. He goes to the blonde lady, I can't remember her name, but he goes to her and tells her about it, which, we found out the mid-season finale that she's evil, shot Wright. I think that's her name. Ray. I can't remember the black lady's name now. I think her last name was Wright. But shot her. So we found out she's working for the Cabal. So he goes in and tells her, and you're just like, oh, really, Wrestler? Just really? But it wasn't really his fault because Wright did tell him that he could trust this lady. So it wasn't wholly his fault. But then a second later, she's like, yeah, last time I spoke to her, she said something about Tommy. That was his name. Tommy something. Tommy Malik? Can't remember the name now. But it was the guy that had betrayed Wrestler's father that he had told Wright about. And so he realized, like she had said that in her dying words, and he realized, crap, I can't trust her. So then he goes to Aram, tells him that he's got to go find Tom and Cooper to help them get Karakurt out of there because the Cabal are heading there. That's when you find out that Aram has been changing the codes, which I kind of knew because it's Aram. He's a beast with a computer. And so what happens with Wrestler next, very, very interesting, because now he and Tom are at the cabin defending Karakurt, finally working together, and they just have this moment of clarity where they kind of understand each other a bit more. And even afterwards, like they finally have the shootout, they take out most of the guys very cleverly. If you've seen the movie Taken, pretended to be the dead bodies, which he was under a dead body in the movie, but they pretend to be the dead bodies and then get up, shoot the guys that are coming to them. Like, that's genius. I like that. That is clever. And so take them all out except for Solomon. And so I'm just like, he's still out there. Like, you haven't seen him yet. Obviously, he's still out there waiting for you guys. Are you this stupid? So they get out to the trucks. They're about to take it. Solomon comes from around the truck, has a gun to the back of Tom's head. And Tom's just like, put him down. Put him down now. He's going to shoot me anyway. Just put him down. Don't put your gun down. Just put him down now. And then Wrestler's just like, okay, you win. Puts his gun down. Did you even go to the academy? And Solomon's getting ready to shoot. And then Cooper comes out of nowhere, hits him over the back of the head. And we're just like, go Cooper. It's awesome. Yeah, it got the adrenaline flowing. Like, it was just one of those moments like, oh my god, somebody might die. I don't know where this is going. But I think one thing before I go any farther, The one thing they did pretty well, which I've seen it done before, but they did it fairly well in this episode. The what's it called? The comparison, the compare and contrast. You've got the you got wrestlers and Tom's story going south. You've got Elizabeth and Aram going south, but then you've got Red and Samar, and they're getting the job done. It's very interesting to see that side by side. They did that pretty well. They showed how these two stories are going south. Like Tom and Wrestler might die, Elizabeth might die, and even if she doesn't, Aram's going to have to let her out of the cage, which means the director's going to get her, which means she's going to die anyway. So that whole story was just falling apart, and their story was falling apart. But Red and Samar are still getting the job done. They're still getting. He's talking to the foreign diplomat. He's getting the wheels turning so that he can. I can't remember exactly what he gets out of the deal, but he's getting the wheels turning. He's getting his plan in motion, and then all of a sudden, Tom and Wrestler they get the upper hand, and then Solomon shows up, and then they get the upper hand again, and that all leads to they're escorting Liz out, and then Wrestler shows up, and now they've got the upper hand there too. So it was just nice to see how one of them changing their fortunes, gaining the upper hand here, leads to now you've got the upper hand over here. Like the story connected very well, and I'm excited to see where it connects as far as Red's side of the story, because you can tell that's where it's building up. Like he's doing stuff over here to bring it over here, and everything's going to explode in the next episode. But that's just I wanted to touch on that, the whole comparison thing that they did there. It was pretty well done. But then Cooper just knocks Solomon out, and he wakes up, and Wrestler's got a gun to his face, and he's just like talking crap, like, oh yeah, there's no prison that can hold me. I'm gonna get a judge of my choosing. I'm gonna get a hearing of my choosing. Jail won't be able to hold me. And Wrestler's like considering it. And in the cabin, he even had a moment where he told Tom, like, my dad, I always worried about my dad and what he was fighting for, if I was doing honor to that. It's like, now I don't know so much anymore. And so he's having another moment like that. Like, he's right. Like, there's nothing that can hold him. Like, he can get away. The law will not be able to hold him down. And he's getting ready to shoot him. And Tom, out of nowhere, I'm like, Tom? Really? Like, wait a second. When did Tom grow a conscience? And he's even like, when did you grow a conscience? I guess I've been hanging around you too much. But he throws it back at him. He says, you're wondering whether or not your dad fought for the right stuff, whether he was fighting for the right thing. That's all decided on whether or not you pull that trigger right now. It's just like, that's a great character moment. It really is. To see them flip to the other side for a second. Like, Wrestler's questioning his loyalty. He's questioning his responsibility. And then Tom steps up and says, look, you have to have those responsibilities. Very well done and very good scene. So they arrest him, they bring him in. Right before, going back to Elizabeth's story really fast, she's getting escorted out by the director. Aram steps in the way of the director and the elevator and points a gun at his head. I'm like, oh my god. Oh, don't kill Aram. Please don't kill him. Because that's what I was expecting, like, somebody just, like, whip out a gun and shoot him and be like, I thought he was going to shoot the director. And I was going to be like, no! It was so intense. Like, I was so certain somebody was about to die. Like, the whole episode, between Wrestler and Tom at the cabin with the guys coming to get them, and then Aram at the very end, like, gun to the director's head, guns pointed at him. I'm like, somebody's going to die. Somebody's about to die, and it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. And I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose a good character that I love. It's going to be crazy. We're losing somebody. But then Elizabeth talks some sense into him. He puts the gun down. He's getting arrested. They're taking her to the elevator. And then this woman steps in. And I can't remember exactly who she is. But basically she's escorting Elizabeth to the courthouse. They had talked a bit about this before, how she was kind of the insurance plan that Wright had put in place. Like, all of this stuff going on as far as a prisoner escorting and stuff like that. And so she's like, I'm here to escort her to the house. And director's just like, well, we have our own intel. And she's like, yeah, I just heard about that intel too. You might want to talk to the director of national service or national intelligence. And so they call and they cut back after showing a bit of red stuff. And they're just like, oh. She's like, I've never seen two people so upset to see that our country's not about to be under attack. I'm just like, see, something's up here. And it's kind of funny because she kind of throws it at him at like a joke, but I think she knows that something's wrong. But basically, her thing is she cannot escort Elizabeth without one agent, Donald Wrestler, which is kind of the insurance plan that was put in place. She's like, well, he's not here, and then he shows up in the elevator with Solomon in tow, and so it's nice to see the director just kind of cut off for a second, like just he's realizes that things are going wrong for him right now, which is nice because we've seen that happen from time to time. We've seen him struggle. We've seen him, like, Red gets one over on him and he's just like frustrated. It's so fun to see because I don't like him. Not just like his character, but this actor's played characters like this before, so he always plays that kind of government a-hole that you just want to see lose. He plays that type of character all the time, so it's always fun to see that look of distress on his face, like, no, I'm losing. It's just like, yeah, you are. And plus the fact that we've seen him kind of be way too cocky this season. Like, he thinks that he can take Raymond Reddington. He thinks he can take it all. Like, I've got everything in control. And you're just like, dude, no, you don't. You think you do, but you don't. And so it's nice to finally see him get what's been coming, pretty much. And then there's another nice moment where they're releasing Dembe from the cell. He's like, I'm free. He's like, according to Mr. Wrestler's orders. And so he's walking out. Solomon's right there. And, of course, they had the Solomon torturing him earlier this season. And so it was just nice to have that moment where he kind of looks at him and just smirks and then walks away. And Solomon's just like, crap. I get the metaphor too. Yeah. And goes in the cell. And now he's just, like, he's been so cocky up to this point. But when he gets into the cell, like, you just see this look of, oh no, I don't know what to do now. Like, he really is lost. He's not sure what to think anymore. And so all of it's just been setting up, and then they finally have this brilliant scene where Rom shows up to a graveyard and Reddington's there. It's just like, please don't end on a cliffhanger of sorts, and they don't. Thank goodness. I was worried that somebody's gonna like take a shot, like a shot in the dark, and one of them was gonna be hit. But it's just this really nice character moment for Reddington. We hardly get those. We've had a few of them every now and then, like when he's talking to Lizzie about whatever. About her past, about how he feels about her, how he wants to protect her. But this was a really nice moment with Aram, and he's just like, I've had to stand before an open grave of somebody that I love. It was my mother, it was somebody else. Today, I just want to stand here and remember that because of you, I'm not having to stand in front of a grave of somebody else I love. If it weren't for you, Aram, Elizabeth would be dead right now. It's like, I just wanted to say I owe you big time. And it's just like, that is a really, really nice moment. Like, really well done. Really more down-to-earth Reddington, because this episode he was kind of back to what we love about Reddington. When he's talking to Samara, he's just going on and on and on, just talking about, when I was over in Europe and they were over there and, one of the biggest drug trades turned out to be England. Go figure. And just keeps talking and talking. That's Reddington. That is what we love about Reddington. He talks nonstop. He spouts nonsense that has a little bit to do with what they're doing at the moment, but it's mainly just to fill time and kind of give us a few laughs. But this was so much more just down to earth. Like, he was just so serious about it, and really, like, James Spader, brilliant actor, and this shows, like, he can play that very serious moment too. It was a really nice moment. Now he's just like, get your team ready. We're about to take down the leader of the Cabal, and just walks away. It's just like, yes, that's going to be the next episode. It's going to be awesome. Really, so, I mean, just really well done setting up for the next episode, but also, it's a good episode. It's a really good episode, and I'm so happy because the mid-season finale, like I said, Didn't really understand why they treated it so poorly. Um, because, I mean, let's be honest, Reddington getting stopped by hillbillies, not what we want to see. Um, this is more what we want to see. This is more the character of Reddington that we want to see, and we got it. You know, we got this. We got the badass that knows what he's doing, has everything in control. He knows what he's doing, and that's the Reddington that I've missed. And now that's the Reddington we've got back. So yeah, really well done episode. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about it. We can discuss it. Uh, what do you think is going to happen next too? And also talk about that. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more The Blacklist. Check out my other videos. Do a lot of TV shows because I'm alone and I watch a lot of TV. One of those people. Anyway, I'll see you at the next review. Peace out.